three things. First, workload. Second, work time. And third, pay and benefits. And welcome back to my channel. Thank you so very much. I'm filming inside my apartment. It's a chilly Saturday morning. Nonetheless, it's gonna be a very good day. So let's get started with this vlog. In this video, we are going to talk about the comparison between BOE direct hire, dispatch ALT. Guys, please don't hate me if the information in this video is not complete or not the information that you really want to hear. I'm just talking based on my experience. I came in Japan in 2015 as a dispatch company ALT. It was a nice experience, especially coming from the Philippines, which is not a native English speaking country, but I was still able to find a job here in Japan, so I was very thankful for the opportunity. The experience was really great. I worked for that company for 3 years. But then again, there are many kinds of BOEs out there. There are as well a lot of dispatch companies, and they might have different policies, different rules, different benefits, range of pay, so I can only talk about my experience. But I hope that you'll be able to find something in this video. So for this video, we're only going to talk about 3 factors. First is workload, next is work time, and third is the pay and the benefits. Workload! I get a lot of questions about this a lot. Workload. Why workload? I think a lot of us really want to work less. Working less with a higher pay. Isn't that a job that you always want? I think it's not about working for a dispatch company or working directly for the BOE. The workload actually depends on the schools and how passionate your teachers are about teaching English. Well, some schools, they find English as just an extra, like they don't need it. While some schools are very dedicated and they really want the ALT to really work hard. Well, workload also depends on which school you're teaching, if you teach in an elementary school or if you teach in a junior high school. When I was still a dispatch ALT, I worked really hard. I was given like 6 classes in a day and only Wednesdays where I could only have 5 lessons. Very exhausting. And this year I have 2 junior high schools and 1 elementary school. Teaching in a junior high school is, I think, easier than teaching in an elementary school because you don't have to be very genki. You just have to be yourself. You don't have to be a clown. You don't have to entertain students the way you entertain elementary school students. But of course, you still have to be effective. Working for a dispatch company and working directly for the BOE, workload doesn't matter. It only depends on your school, your Japanese teachers, whether you teach in an elementary school or if you teach in a junior high school. So it's the same experience. Also, for dispatch companies, there's a lot of reporting to do. Based on my experience, I received a lot of emails, even on holidays or in the evenings, asking me to do a certain online task. I didn't want to do it. I actually didn't want to receive any emails during holidays. Well, some of the emails were actually very helpful, especially emergency emails, things like that. I don't know about other BOEs, but my BOE doesn't send emails to me. We have trainings, and I learn a lot from those trainings. Now that I'm working for the BOE, there's less pressure. I feel more relaxed. Maybe because I don't have to please a company anymore. Well, I have to please the BOE, of course, but if my students like me and the teachers in my school love me, then that's enough. But when you work for a dispatch company, they don't know what happens in your schools. They don't know what's going on with you. So all the time, they send questionnaires out to your school, or they go to your school, they visit you at any random time, and you're like, oh my god, I have a visitor from my company. I don't get to have that anymore, and that's one thing that I'm really very happy about. I mean, I'm always prepared in my classes, in my lessons, but it's just different when someone else is looking. That person is not just looking at your class, not just observing at your class, but actually trying to find mistakes. That's one thing that I don't like about lesson observations. I'm very happy that I don't have to do that anymore. Very reason for that is that dispatch companies want to make sure they are satisfying their clients. Okay, now work time. I guess you really want to hear this because a lot of you want to leave school the earliest possible because you want some me time or you want to go to a part-time job. So the work time is really important. For the Board of Education, the official time is from 8:15 in the morning all the way to 4:45 in the afternoon. Maybe some other schools or some other BOEs all the way till 5, or some other BOEs just all the way till 4 in the afternoon. So it depends on the BOE. But in my case, it's from 8:15 to 4:45 with a 1 hour lunch break. Sorry, I had to pause for a while because my other camera's battery is low and so I have to change my camera. Anyway, so we were talking about work time. As I said, now that I work in the BOE, the work time is from 8:15 to 4:45 in the afternoon with 1 hour lunch break. I could actually do anything I want for the lunch break, but here's the thing. You have to eat lunch at school. So that 1 hour, just don't bother. When I was still working for the dispatch company, I was under the Gyomo Itaku contract. I went to school at like 10 minutes before 9 or 15 minutes before 9 and then leave the school as soon as my last lesson for that day finishes. So I could leave school at around 3 in the afternoon or like earlier than that sometimes. Now I have a longer work time, but I think this year some dispatch companies, they changed the contract to Hakken, and that gives ALTs a longer work time. My sister, she has to be at school at 9 in the morning and leave at 3:15 in the afternoon. I'm not so sure though. I'll ask her. As for weekend activities such as school festivals, sports festivals, actually ALTs are not required to go there. Even now that I'm under the BOE, I don't have to go to activities like that, but because I just want to feel the sense of belongingness in my school, so I prefer to go to those activities. Even when I was still working for the dispatch company, I still went to the activities at school, especially when I was free. So again, you don't have to go to events like that, but if you want, you can go and you will be very much appreciated by the teachers and the students. So it's also a good way to make friends and make good connections with your workmates. And now the last, but definitely not the least, it's all what we've been waiting for. It's all what we really want to know. Pay and the benefits. So for this one, guys, it really depends on the Board of Education. It really depends on the dispatch company, but most likely depending on the Board of Education, because dispatch companies, they have a fixed rate. So you would really know from the very beginning that this is what you would get. But for Board of Education, the salary range is really different for every Board of Education. My husband and I are both working for the Board of Education, but we don't have the same salary. Most dispatch companies, they pay around 230,000 yen per month. That's the base salary, and then there are additions to that if you are on a driving position, or if you work in a city, if you work in the countryside, they have position allowances and other stuff. So it depends on your location. For BOE direct hires, some BOEs, they follow the JET program salary package. Some of them, they don't include insurance, but some of them are really very generous. My BOE, they pay me for every day that I work. So that means to say that if there is a holiday, a national holiday, I am not paid. Unfortunately, it's just a work pay, no work, no pay policy for me. And that also means to say that I don't get a lot for August, because that is the Natsu Yasumi. That's actually my favorite Yasumi for the year because that's the longest. But after that is when your suffering starts. So I have to save for those months. There are also BOEs that give bonuses, such as my husband's. I don't get a bonus, unfortunately. But I'm happy because there are really months where the pay is really good. Like much higher than the dispatch company. But you have to be aware, guys, that there are BOEs that are greedy because they know how much the dispatch companies pay their ALTs, and so they're like, we should do the same. It's not all the time that, it's a BOE, so we will be paid more. Not all the time that it's like that. So you have to be very careful. As for the benefits, I have the Shakai Hoken, which is a very good one. I get deducted about 45,000 yen per month for the Shakai Hoken, and that includes social health insurance, insurance and the pension. And I think that's a very good thing that it's deducted every month, because when I was still working for the dispatch company, I had to wait for June to come before I could get the bills for my social health insurances. It's really a lot. Last year I paid 200,000 yen for the health insurance, but that's me and for my husband. It was a lot of money. And so what I did was I saved up for June and I paid it in full so that I don't have to think about it in the coming months. But this year, since it's paid per month, it's already deducted from my salary, so I don't have to think about that. I don't have to save up for that month of June. Even if the Shakai Hoken is already deducted from my salary, the net pay that I get is still much bigger than the net pay that I got when I was still working for the dispatch company. Another thing is that I'm really happy that I'm now able to pay for the pension, because for the past years I was receiving a lot of pension bills, the scary ones with the red notices. Feels like I might be deported or my visa might not be renewed. So I'm happy now that I'm able to pay and I don't have to worry about that because it's already deducted from my salary. Another is healthcare benefit. Both my husband and I, in August, we did a general health check, like everything from blood tests to x-rays to eye tests, hearing tests, and whatnot. We did that for free because it's provided by the Board of Education by the city. When I was still working with the dispatch company, I didn't have that. I only did the x-ray. So again, we talked about 3 things. First, workload. Second, work time. And third, pay and benefits. I don't know if there are many other things that you want to know, but if you do have questions, please comment it down below and I'll answer in a reply, or probably do another video about comparing BOE direct hire versus dispatch company. These are only the things that I can think of, but if you guys have any other idea, I'd be very happy to do that. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have questions, please feel free to comment. See you on the next!